Dear children, welcome to biology classes. So in the previous classes I have explained you about the structure of heart, and we have also discussed the working of heart, how the cardiac cycle happens, isn't it? And also the double and single circulation, isn't it? What is double circulation? It is the circulation in which blood passes two times through the heart, okay, to complete one cycle, and that includes systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation means what? The circulation of blood from right ventricle to lungs, okay, and from lungs back to the heart, that is to the left atrium, okay. So that circulation is known as what? The pulmonary circulation, okay. You can see here that is from right atrium to what? Lungs. Who takes the blood from this? Pulmonary artery, isn't it? And then it will get purified in the lungs, and from lungs the purified blood will be coming back to the left atrium. So this through what? Pulmonary vein. So this circulation is known as what? Pulmonary circulation, okay. Now what is systemic circulation? Systemic circulation means the circulation of blood between heart and different parts of the body, understood? So from where the blood pass from the heart to different parts of the body, purified blood, that is from the left ventricle, okay. So from left ventricle, you can see this is the left ventricle, and from here the blood will be taken to different parts of the body by aorta. Aorta is the main artery, isn't it? And then it will be going to different tissues or different parts of the body, and then what will happen? It will get impure due to the carbon dioxide produced in each cells, and from there it will be again brought back to the right atrium, isn't it? By vena cava, isn't it? Superior and inferior vena cavas are there. So this part, okay, of circulation is known as systemic circulation, and this is known as pulmonary circulation. So this much is clear to everyone. Now the new other topic that we have to study is the blood pressure, okay. So what is blood pressure? You have, would have heard about what? Blood pressure, BP, isn't it? So high BP and low BP you would have heard, okay. So and you would have seen an instrument that doctors used to measure your BP, that is known as sphygmomanometer. What is it? Sphygmomanometer, understood? And what is this pressure? Pressure is actually the pressure that the force the blood exerts against the wall of the vessel is called what? Blood pressure, understood? So when the blood is there in the blood vessels, a force is exerted on the walls of the the blood vessels. That force is known as what? Blood pressure, okay. And this pressure is very high in arteries and than veins. I have already told, that's what? The walls of the arteries are thicker than veins. We have discussed that, isn't it? Then the pressure of the blood that is there in the arteries during the ventricular systole. What is systole and diastole? That is the contraction phase of heart is known as what? Systole. What is it? Systole. So this especially the ventricles when it contracts, more blood will be pumped to the blood vessels, isn't it? So the force applied on the walls will be much more, isn't it? So this pressure means the pressure exerted on the walls of the blood vessels when the heart is in the contractive state, okay, or ventricular systole, we can say. That pressure is high, okay, and that is known as systolic pressure, okay. And when the ventricles are relaxed, when we studied the cardiac cycle, we studied that also, isn't it? First what? Auricles will be in the relaxed state. At that time blood will be brought to the auricles, both the auricles, and then auricles contract, valves what closes, and what will happen? The blood will be pushed in the where? In the ventricles. So in that stage The ventricle is not in the contracting state, isn't it? So that is known as diastole. What is it? Diastole. So during diastole, what happened? The blood which is present, okay, or the force exerted by the blood on the walls of the blood vessel is called diastolic pressure. Okay, diastolic pressure, and that will be around 80 mm of Hg. Actually, this is the unit, okay, in which it is the pressure is expressed, okay, and systolic pressure is about 120 mm of Hg. So and what happened then? Next moment, what will happen when the blood reaches to the ventricle? It contracts, isn't it? And the blood will be pushed to the artery. So that is systolic pressure. Is it clear? When the ventricles contract, the pressure experienced in the walls of the blood vessel is called what? The systolic pressure. And when the ventricles are in the relaxed state, okay, that time the pressure exerted is called the diastolic pressure. Is it clear? That is it clear? When the heart contracts, okay, or in the ventricular systole, the pressure exerted is called systolic pressure, and the pressure exerted on the walls of the blood vessels when the heart is in the relaxed state or in the diastolic phase or ventricular diastole is called diastolic pressure. So which will be more? What obviously systolic pressure is more, and it is 120 mm of Hg, and diastolic pressure is 80 mm of Hg, isn't it? So whenever you go to the doctor or whenever your pressure is taken, you can see that two figures will be there, isn't it? So the normal blood pressure of human being is 120 bar 80 mm of Hg. Okay, so if high pressure more than this, if pressure is there, that is known as hypertension, okay, and is caused by the constriction of arterioles. And so if any pipe, if it is if the lumen of that is less, what will happen? The liquid has to flow with the force, isn't it? Or very, I means its flow will not be smooth, so it can cause what? Means in the same way, when blood vessels are constricted, what will happen? Or blood capillaries or arterioles are constricted, then smoothly blood cannot move, and this causes what? Blood pressure, and it may lead to the rupture of artery, then what? Internal bleeding, etc. Okay, so this is what about the blood pressure. Next topic is what? Lymph. So I told in the beginning itself, there are two systems which are taking part in the transport of materials, isn't it? So they are blood circulatory system and the lymphatic circulatory system, I told, isn't it? So the lymphatic system, they are also taking part in the process of transport, and the components of them are lymph, okay, then what? Lymph capillaries, lymph vessels, and lymph nodes. Okay, so these are the components of this circulatory system. Like in blood circulatory system, we told about the blood vessels, blood and heart are the major components of blood circulatory system, isn't it? So in the same way, here in the lymphatic circulatory system, we can see what? Lymph, the medium, then lymph capillaries, which are very smaller tubes, and lymph vessels. Okay, and you can see another what component known as lymph nodes. Okay, so when you see about the lymph, it is also known as the tissue fluid. What is it? Tissue fluid. Is it clear? Now, how this tissue fluid is formed? That is when the blood passes through the arteries. Okay, listen, lymph is actually formed from what only? From blood only. Understood? So when blood passes through the small blood capillaries, some amount of plasma proteins and blood cells, okay, they escape into the intercellular space in the tissues. Intercellular space means what? In the tissues, in between the cells, there are some space, isn't it? So into that, some of the plasma and proteins escapes. And this is similar to blood plasma, but they are colorless and they are contain less protein. Understood? So when you compare lymph and blood plasma, it is similar, but what is the difference? That is that is colorless. Okay, lymph is colorless and contains less proteins. Okay, then from there what happened? From the intercellular spaces, the lymph or tissue fluid, they will re-enter into the lymphatic capillaries. Okay, lymphatic capillaries are what? They are small vessels. Understood? When compared to lymphatic vessels. Okay, so their pores are more larger. So what will happen? Means when compared to the blood capillaries. Understood? So this tissue fluid or lymph will re-enter into the lymphatic capillaries. Okay, and this lymphatic capillaries, they join to form large lymph vessels. Okay, and they finally open into larger veins. Okay, that is the lymphatic system. Okay, they originate from the, or lymph originates from the intercellular spaces, and they pass through the lymphatic capillaries and then to the lymphatic vessels, and finally they will open into large veins. Veins means of the blood circulatory system. Veins and arteries we have studied, isn't it? So lymph, what is the advantage of that? This carries digested and absorbed fat, okay, from the intestine. Okay, then drains excess fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. So these all, some of the, see, in villi of digestive system we have seen, studied now, there are finger like projections, isn't it? And this villi are provided with lymphatic vessels so that the food can be easily, the digested food materials can be easily absorbed into the bloodstream. Understood? So like this, what the large proteins, okay, then digested fats, etc., can be absorbed into the body. Understood? So lymphatic system helps the blood circulatory system in the transport. So lymph capillaries are what? They are tiny tubes present all over the body. Okay, so the speciality of lymphatic capillaries are, they are having closed ends and pores. Pores are there all over there. All over the tube, and these pores are larger than the pores in the capillaries, blood capillaries. Understood? So only many molecules which cannot be enter into the blood capillaries can enter into the lymphatic capillaries, and lymphatic capillaries or lymphatic system finally joins to what I told, blood circulatory system. So what will happen? These things can be put into circulation, that cannot be taken by the blood capillaries. Okay, then lymphatic vessels means what? Lymph capillaries, they join to form larger vessels. Okay, and they contain what? Lymph. Okay, then large protein molecules, digested fat, then what other useful materials, etc. Understood? Then I told the lymphatic vessels finally joins to large veins of the blood circulatory system. Then lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are what? Present in the lymph vessels only. Here and there you can see what? Spherical structures. Okay, so these lymph nodes contains what? Lymphocytes. Have you heard about lymphocytes? It's a kind of WBC. Understood? Lymphocytes, monocytes. Okay, then neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, all these are what? Different kinds of WBC. So lymph nodes contains what? Lymphocytes, and this can what do? They involve in the cleaning of blood. Okay, and they help the body to get protected from the diseases. Okay, they, in the lymph nodes there will be fight between the microorganisms and the this lymphocytes. Okay, so they help to give immunity to the body. Understood? So these are the parts of what? Lymphatic system. What are they? Lymph is there, which is the medium, just like our blood, okay, in the lymphatic system. Then what comes? Lymph vessels, lymph capillaries, and lymph nodes. Is it clear? So what are the different functions of lymph? Lymph takes part in the nutritive process of the body, I have told, isn't it? Because villi are having what? Large lymphatic vessels. Understood? Then they can carry digested food or fat for the nutritive process. Then lymph protects the body, isn't it? How it protects? By killing the germs. Understood? Then what? With the help of lymphocytes. Okay, with the help of lymphocytes, they protect the body by killing the germs. Okay, and they also help in making antibodies. Have you heard about antibodies? Now everyone might be knowing, isn't it? So they are the proteins produced in our body against what? Microorganisms, isn't it? Then it can also remove the waste products like fragments of cells. Okay, fragment of dead cells. Sometimes dead cells they'll get fragmented, and it can be taken by the blood lymphatic vessels or lymph. Understood? So like this they help in what? The different circulatory process. Is it clear? They aid what? The blood circulatory system. So about transport in animals, we have studied. I think everything is clear to you. So we have explained about the blood, its components. What are the components of blood? Blood circulatory system consists of what? Blood, heart, and blood vessels, isn't it? And blood components I told: blood plasma, it is the matrix, fluid matrix. Okay, blood is a connective tissue. And then I told what are the cells present in them: WBC, RBC, and platelets. And the functions also might be clear to you now, isn't it? Then I told you about the blood vessels. What are the blood vessels? They are arteries, then veins, and capillaries. Okay, what is the difference between arteries and veins? You remember, arteries are having what? They carry blood away from heart to different parts of the body. Veins, what they do? They bring blood from different parts of the body to heart, isn't it? And then the walls of the arteries are thicker than veins, and most of the arteries carries pure blood except what? Some of the arteries. Example, I told pulmonary artery, isn't it? Then veins usually carries what? Impure blood, and exceptions are there. Example is pulmonary vein. Understood? Then there are valves in veins, but there are no valves in arteries. Arteries has no valves, but veins are having valves. What for? Veins, in veins the blood is not under any pressure, isn't it? So there is chance of what? Backward flow of blood. So to prevent this, then capillaries, you remember, they are very thin walled type of blood vessels. Okay, their thickness of the wall is just 1 cell thick. Okay, then I have explained you about the structure of heart. Okay, the chambers, valves, and the blood vessels, isn't it? The walls of the ventricles are thicker, I told. Then I have explained you the cardiac cycle, how the heart works, isn't it? Then we have studied about double circulation, pulmonary circulation, and systemic circulation, isn't it? Then single circulation, in which blood passes only once through the heart. And then blood pressure. Okay, systolic and diastolic pressure. Okay, so that normal blood pressure we explained. Okay, and then we have studied about the lymphatic circulatory system, isn't it? So these includes what? Lymph nodes, and then what? Lymphatic capillaries, and lymph capillaries. Okay, lymphatic capillaries, lymphatic vessels, and lymph nodes. So this much is very clear, I hope. Okay, and the next class we will study about the transportation in plants. Okay, so till now what we have studied, how transportation takes place in animals. Okay, so let's stop here and we'll continue in the next class.